I'm the most genuine version of me whenever the mic is on. Since I was young, I've always had to fight for my place. And where I'm from, there's no one else as far in the race. We both run, but none of y'all can run at my pace. So don't stab me in the back and then ask if I'm okay. You know, I've been doubted and counted out forever. It's about time I prove them wrong. Since I was young, I've always had to fight for my place. And where I'm from, there's no one else as far in the race. We both run, but none of y'all can run at my pace. Don't stab me in the back and then ask.
What's up, my people, man? Hey, we out here in the lake, man. It's looking pretty nice, pretty chilly, as you can see. And today, man, today. Wait a minute. Today is a special day, of course, guys. Make sure you're tuning in. We have a guy here, man. He's a longtime friend, and he does a bunch of cool stuff. You know, he's a fiance coming up soon, upcoming graduate. You know, it's been a long journey for him, and in his growth spiritually too. He's been growing in his faith, growing in his mental, faculties. And so today, he plays keyboard and all other kinds of cool stuff. Aidan,
I try.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aidan Hagler, a.k.a. Newdisguise.
What's up, guys? It's been a long time in the coming. We're finally here.
Welcome to the show, man. Hey.
Thank you.
Hey, coming in through, we were talking about, we're not even going to waste time. Let's jump into it.
Let's go.
So, in America, you just talk about a little bit of your childhood, because most people don't even know. You just see this white guy right here. You think he's just, hey, tell him a little bit about your childhood.
Yeah. Man. So when I was like 7 years old, my family, we moved right by the Mexican border. And then when I was 9 years old, we moved down to southern Mexico. And we lived in several different spots of southern Mexico. And I lived in southern Mexico until I came to the United States for Greenville University. So
man,
I understand all Spanish. I speak pretty well. My grammar's not always great because I just learned it by hearing it.
Right.
I speak street Spanish more than, the right words every time. But
the first time we came in this school 2021, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting old, guys.
Getting
old. But the first thing I saw about you that was different from other Americans is that you understood like the toughness and the difference of just coming into a different country, and like you understood what that felt like, being away from family, being away from parents. And most people just see international students coming out and people who are coming out from different countries. They don't know such problems that people go through. And I was like, how do you understand all that? Until I found out about your background, and it's a different vibe, right? So you have like eyes of people from outside observing in, but you're also inside, so you understand the system, but you also see it from an observer's perspective. But man, that's crazy. So we're gonna start today, man, about relationships, cause I don't know if you're cool with us. You're a fiance, right?
I am. I'm engaged.
There's a big news. We saw the video. Everybody saw the video.
Yes.
You proposed and everything. Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
Come in May. And so tell us a little bit about what makes a relationship successful from your point of view in general. Even if it's for a brother, cousin, best friends, whatever.
I feel like the first thing that comes to my mind that makes a relationship successful is honesty and transparency.
Right.
And being just being yourself.
Yeah.
And not hiding any part of you.
Right.
Like for me, I'd rather be 100% myself and be rejected for it than be half of myself and not be loved for that.
Right.
Like when I was younger, it wasn't that way. But like who I am today, like I just want to be myself when I walk into a room. And I think that's what creates a real friend versus just like, someone just who's in your life and who you call a friend, but you kind of put on this mask with each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Man, is that why divorce rates have been skyrocketing up in the United States? Do you think, because you've mentioned you'd rather have somebody, for being the real you than just 50% of you? And do you think many people are just getting with people because they're just trying to do it fast or fit in, and they just put on this mask, and then after 2 years down the line, they realize, hey, do you think that's the reason why?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really speak on someone else's mindset when they're going into something.
Right.
But I feel like
if I had gotten with someone and I wasn't my true self, and I hid my issues, I hid my demons.
Right.
Like, I feel like having like a foundation of truth where it's like before even me and her even started dating, like I was like, I sat her down. I was like, I just want to like let you know, like, what you're getting into?
Yeah.
Cause I was like, I'm a lot to handle.
Right.
I'm not always like.
Exactly.
I don't always have everything together, you know.
Right.
I get manic. I'm
Yeah.
not perfect.
Yeah.
I can try my hardest.
Mm.
That's what I can always promise, is to put in effort.
Right.
But I can't promise perfection. But like, just like, I feel like her knowing what she was getting into before she got into it with me was like a good foundation to build upon.
Right.
Which is a foundation that we are continuing to build upon for the future.
Right. So I have mentioned that divorce rates was about 55%, I think, 2 years ago, 60%.
Okay.
And then from age groups of our age to 32, it's like about 85%.
Oh,
so that's like two out of three couples. And so you said you want to be part of the 1%.
Yes.
Do you still, confirm that?
I do. I want to be part of the 1%.
And what makes that?
Like, why?
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm going to get married to someone, I want to be like committed. I want to be fully in.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I think that, like, I know I'm going to be part of the 1%.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying this to be like, it's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Is because, like, divorce for me is not an option.
Right.
You know, as long as there's loyalty, divorce for me is not an option.
Right.
And when you like have that mindset, and you have people who keep you accountable,
right?
Older people who have been married longer than you, and like, because it's not easy. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I know that the next step for me is not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be hard days because it's marriage. Marriage, I'm sure it's not going to be hard. I've never been married, obviously, but but it's no matter what, we push through it and we'll find a way.
Right.
That's my mindset.
Just figure out a way.
Yeah.
Not
prayer.
Right.
And like praying together, and having older people who will be there for us in our life and in our marriage, I think is a foundation we're trying to build upon. But I'm not saying that like I have all the answers, because again, like a lot of these answers are coming from people who have been married longer than me, and that's why I'm able to say these things, because I'm just a young 22-year-old.
Right.
You know?
You can't have everything all figured out, man.
I do not.
I like that point that you're learning from people who have already done it, and that's the reason why, like, if you're not where I'm at, I can't take advice. If you're not where I want to be, I can't take advice from you, because like I'm building off of that point, because you're looking at people who have already done it, right? They're telling you that you see their marriage is successful, you see their children are successful, and then they're telling you what. But if you know, I'm not gonna get into it, but you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah, that's good.
And I will say, like, you can't have everything figured out, and we're still learning. Even if you're 60 years old, you'll still be learning something about your partner, even if you've been with them for 60 years.
Yeah.
So I'd like that mentality, and part of the reason why, like, I had to realize that I can't do everything by myself was like getting, even just for example, playing guitar. When I met this guy who started mentoring me about jazz guitar and stuff, that's when I realized that you don't know anything. Then it's like, it's better when you learn from somebody who like can see everything you don't know, better than just thinking, hey, I'm gonna try everything by myself. But yeah. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for coming in, man. Again, you're welcome to the show, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Today we're gonna get it, chop it up and get people and tell them what they really need to know.
For real.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna try.
Right.
Try is the word for the episode, I think.
Right. Man, how do you stay away from like the community? Because you're using the community to build you up in your relationships, but as we all know, in all communities, especially like this one, there's like rumors, there's people always gossiping, and they have like all these apps. I don't know if people like, I heard something called like Yik Yak or something like that.
They be on that Yik Yak.
Yeah, they be on that. Man, how do you stay off of this drama and gossip and everything?
I mean, me personally, like, I feel like I was different when I was younger, but like now it's like I just do not care.
Right.
Like I just do not care.
Man, what are they saying on
Like,
that app? Man.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've been on there. I haven't heard that I've been on there yet. But again, I'm not on the app. I'm just off the radar.
Right.
But like the way I am, I just literally like these days. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just like, I'm gonna go to the DC and I'm gonna go eat when I'm hungry.
Right.
I'm not gonna wait. If you want to go at 5:30, but I'm hungry at 5, I'm so sorry. Unless you're my fiance, I'm going at 5. Like, I just like I stay in my own lane. I just stay like locked in. Like if I'm alone eating,
Right.
I'm gonna be thinking of a rap in my head, or I'm gonna be thinking of a creative idea for a beat or a chord progression or some line. There's always something going on in my head. I promise you that I'm never just there empty-minded. You might come up to me and like, I'm gonna be like, yeah, and I might seem like I'm empty-minded. I promise there's always stuff going on in my head. So like, I'm just friends with my
Inner self.
my inner self, honestly. Like, I mean, I have a good core group of friends around me that, you know, keep me accountable and hold me down. But like, I just don't get involved, and I don't take advice from someone who doesn't want the best for me.
Man, people take this stuff for granted, man. When you have people around you who are holding you down, man, like this stuff this is game changing, bro. Like you can be the worst, non-talented or whatever you think. When you have people around you who are keeping you in check, telling you, hey man, you say you're gonna do this tomorrow, it's time to wake up. Man, when you have those people around you, people have underrated this thing. It's amazing. Even if you just try this, you go into the gym for 3 months alone. Yeah, you try to, you know, be disciplined. You're still
Right.
cheating and eating a little bit right here, but if you're with that guy or with that friend, and every day is keeping you in check, man, you say you're not gonna eat that, right? See how much of a difference it makes. You go to the gym, you don't want to do it, but it's like you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an example in my life, because I honestly like I'm gonna jump into faith for a second.
Right, now go do it.
Like my relationship with God in my life has been so rocky.
Right.
I have a song where it's like my relationship with God, it's been like a winding road. Like I'm trying to go this way, I'm trying to follow God, but it's like he's over here. He's over here. God's over here. And like I'm kind of getting to him, but I'm taking this road to get to him, and then sometimes I start curving back and have to go back around.
Right.
But like having people who will like text me and be like, have you read your Bible today? Like just keep me accountable on simple things. It's so powerful and important because like, or like have you gone on a prayer walk or something like that? Because without accountability, it's so easy not to do these things. It's so easy to follow your emotions instead of following.
That's easier.
Instead of staying grounded.
Yeah, because that's easier.
Yeah.
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 Man, accountability.
Yes.
Man, I like that. So you jumped to something for a second that I was going to bring it slowly, but you already did Wind and Rose. And go ahead. Since you've already given them a little bit, could you just explain, you know, we're going to get into your music side of life, and let's take it back.
Okay.
When did you start doing music and why?
I've always loved writing. When I was like 9 years old, I was at a concert, and like the voice in my head at 9 years old was like, that's what you're going to do one day.
Right.
That's a cool story. Like that was a cool story for me. And like, so I started writing at like 9 the next day. I didn't know any instruments. I just made up melodies in my head and wrote lyrics.
Right.
And then I kind of stopped for a while. I started writing like books and things like that. When I was like 14 years old, I was sitting in class and I had a friend next to me from Germany, and he was writing something that looked to be like a rap.
Right.
And then it was like, just had a thought. I was like, dang, I could write a rap.
Right.
I should do that. That'd be a great way to express myself. I went home, wrote a rap.
Right.
Trash. Terrible. But I started writing at 14. Slowly over time, my writing got like a lot better. By putting in my like hours.
Yeah.
Like I used to come home from school.
Yeah.
I used to be on a basketball team in high school for a bit. This is a funny story.
Right.
And I used to come home from school, write raps for an hour. I'd take the bus to school because we only had one car.
Mhm.
And my parents thought I was going to basketball practice, but I was just driving. I was in the back of the bus going all around town writing raps for 3 hours a day.
Right. Man.
So I was like,
Oh my goodness.
that's what I was doing. That's how I became who I am today, was just writing for hours a day and putting in time.
Right.
Like I can't, like, just becoming so passionate about it that I was addicted. I couldn't stop writing.
Mm-hmm.
And then from then, like during COVID, I really got into the piano. And so I just started playing piano and teaching myself piano. And slowly I got better at that and started incorporating singing into my music too. Being able to write my own hooks and writing my verses, writing the bars, just writing a big variety of styles and being inspired by a big variety of artists, which then throughout over years, I started writing at 14 I said, so I'm 22 now. So that's 8 years of writing consistently to become who I am today.
Wow.
So 8 years of writing consistently to be like, okay, now it's time for my first album.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes accountability for
all that.
bringing it back.
Man, people are gonna come back and say it happened overnight. That's the funny thing. And I'll just look them in the eye and, well, what can you say? So I have 2 very interesting questions for you.
All right.
You ready for this?
I am.
So you see this 9-year-old kid. Something common I've noticed when you were talking is thought. You say you had a voice in your head, right? 14 years of age, you have this very unique kid. They came to a thought in his head. Something happened.
Yeah.
Voice in the head, something happened. Now you're at 22 years of age. I'm going to ask you question number 1. Take a look at that 9-year-old kid. Tell him something back to, imagine him as somebody different. Tell him something that he wish he would have known. And then look at your 32 years old. That's 10 years from now. Tell him something that he's going to come back and listen to this. 3, 2, 1, go.
That's deep. So something I tell my 9-year-old self that he doesn't know.
That he wish he heard or somebody told him sooner. Yeah.
I wish he heard. Honestly, this is like probably not what most people would say, but like I want to tell him, you're going to go through hell, and the church is going to be one of the main reasons why.
The church?
The church is going to hurt you in ways that is going to crush your faith.
And this is the church in Mexico or both?
I'm talking honestly more about certain church communities that I grew up around that were mainly white. So not mainly Hispanic.
Right.
But like, I want to tell the 9-year-old, be like, you're going to go through hell.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the people that you think are supposed to like lead you to heaven.
Right. Oh.
That are going to are going to hurt you in those ways. Right?
Man.
But keep pushing through and following God.
Yeah.
Despite what the church has done to you.
Right.
That's what I would tell him.
Okay. So the 32 years old you is looking back at this podcast. What are you telling him now?
Don't give up. No matter, and never lose I would tell my 32-year-old self probably to never lose the dreamer inside of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't ever stop dreaming, because the older I get, the harder it is.
Yeah.
To think outside the box.
Right.
So I'm sure it's going to be like, once I like graduate and go into being quote unquote being a real adult.
The real life, the real world.
The real world, like that's a place where dreams get killed more than anywhere.
Right.
But never stop. Never stop doing the things that you feel like you were made to do and bring you true joy.
Man, shout out to him.
Yes.
Somebody great. Something very interesting. So we were doing practice for his show, which we're going to talk about in a minute too. And you said something that has reminded me of that, is that when you grow older, you probably will, think outside the box less. And you were looking at the song that you made when you were a freshman. Now, this is just 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago. And you're like, man, I was really doing whatever. I'm trying this and that, and now it's
Yeah.
like you have been trained to like kind of stay on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's a really good point. Like, you gotta just keep. You're telling him to stay, you know, stay a dreamer.
Yeah, stay a dreamer. Like, I just wrote this like 2 nights ago. There's just 2 lines that just popped in my head.
Yeah.
They're not even crazy, but like they go with what we're saying. I'll start as an underdog, then I'll come out on top. That's a greater story. No, there's more for me than the party sing. And God been tugging on my heartstrings. Done with the drama, run from my problems. I'm on my cardio, staying true to me, gotta stay unique. Let's see how far I go. Just watch me hustle. My pin build the muscles. It's kinda swole. First place, I'm headed for the gold. My head full of goals. I'm a dreamer who's learned resilience because of a life full of no's. With every loss is a lesson I learned. My soul's determined I will never fold. I've counted the cost of living a life of courage. It's worth it to push through the darkness in order to grow. So that really ties back into what we were saying. Because I'm a dreamer who's learned resilience because of a life full of no's. So like,
Wow.
I want to tell.
Man, hold on.
Yeah.
You can't just keep going talking like, man. This is Newdisguise right here. This Newdisguise.
Just 2 minutes.
Right.
It was just 2 minutes of riding during dinner.
Since 14 years of age, guys. So, go ahead.
But like, going back to what we were saying, like I would tell the older me, like let the no's in your life, let the roadblocks in your life push you forward to become resilient and to keep pursuing what you feel like or what you know you're meant to do.
Right.
Like if God gave you a dream, don't give up on it.
Yeah. So, look at the camera and these people out here watching this right now. That it's not even at 32 years old that they will think of giving up. They have already given up. What are you telling them?
Because I'll just talk from my own life. Like I feel at times I've been tempted to give up.
Right.
I've been tempted when I thought outside of the box and had a creative idea, and then I saw something that was so in the box.
Yeah.
Be so like accepted and welcomed artistically. It's like tempted me like, should I just be in the box? Should I conform? Should I give up? But I feel like you can't give up on the gift that you have. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, don't compare yourself to another person because you weren't meant to do what they're doing.
Right.
You could never do what they're doing. But there's another side of it. They could never do what you're doing either.
Right.
Keep working, because I promise you that like if God gave you a gift, there's a reason that He gave it
To you.
Yeah.
I will say this real quick. The reason why people around you, your family members, are not understanding you is because God gave you that vision. He didn't give you. He didn't give your brother. He didn't give your sister. He didn't give your best friend, your roommate. Just gave it to you. So stop trying to explain to people because they can't see what you see. You know, like he said, if God has given you a vision, you know, make sure that you execute and do not give up because it will not be easy in the road. You know, God will show you at the end, but He doesn't want to show you in between because you will give up because what's in between is what's going to make you worthy of getting what's at the end. And what's in between is hell.
Yeah. And what's in between is like what molds you into being strong enough mentally and being the person. Like sometimes like in my life I would ask God like, why didn't this dream come true yet?
Yeah.
But I feel like if it had came true, let's say 2 years ago, I wouldn't have known how to handle it. Maybe if it had come true today, I still wouldn't know how to handle it.
Right.
And maybe like I was trying to run in a way that wasn't the way that was meant for me. And so I had to be turned around and redirected to go back to my path that was meant for me. I'm supposed to walk my own path, not walk someone else's. And I feel like sometimes we try to like, I might see what you have and be like, I want that, you know? And I might try to walk in your shoes.
Right.
But those shoes can't fit me because I'm not meant for those shoes.
Right.
You know?
Man, you can see yourself in my shoes, but you can't walk in them for a mile, I promise you.
Yeah. Those are some bars from your latest song.
Man, guys, you know, I Won't Be Afraid. This song, I just made it literally in my dorm room, and you know, coming to America is insane. It was insane for you. Understand how it is, because you've lived a little bit outside of America, and just coming here, life is intimidating sometimes. You know, Americans are crazy people, of course, a little bit, but when you come here, sometimes I lost myself. I will wake up in the middle of the night. I'll look around. I see a flag. I'm like, what is this flag? It's like I already forgot I came here. I'm thinking I'm back home, but I'm having dreams that I'm in this weird place. I can't even understand. I see all these flashing lights and traffic signs, and I'm like, all the memory comes back in that I moved into a different country. All that stuff was messing my head up, being away from my parents and stuff. I had to wake up from my dorm room, went outside and looked outside and told myself, I will not be afraid. So people are seeing this song going viral. They think it's just any other song, but I need you to tell yourself that, because that's exact. Sorry for interrupting you, man.
No, that was good. I liked it.
Yeah, keep going.
I don't know where I was. I got sidetracked by what you were saying. I got stuck on that.
I got you.
But
man.
like basically what you were talking about just now is culture shock.
Right.
And like,
yeah.
And I'm like, you were expressing like what it feels like.
Exactly.
And like I have had culture shock in different ways. Like I had like we had both had culture shock, but different ways. Different ways, yeah.
Because we are coming from like different cultures already, and also you're seeing life here already. You have a more insight to this culture.
Yeah, true. And like English is my first language. But like when I went to Mexico at 9 years old, like that was kind of hard.
Exactly.
There was culture shock there.
So it's opposite.
Right.
And then you still get the culture shock for coming back.
Yeah, you get culture shock when you come back. Like,
so you've been even through it double time.
No, what's crazy is because I grew up most of my life in Mexico, right? So
Right.
people in Mexico will be like, "What's it like where you're from?
Right.
How's it in your village?" And I was like, "Well, I've lived around Mexico since I was 7 years old.
Right.
That's most of my life.
Right.
When I'm 15, that's most of my life that I can remember, you know?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, like, what's it like where you're really from?" I was like, "Dang,
Yeah.
I'll never be one of them." And then I come back to the States, and people who knew I lived in Mexico was like, "How is it at home?" Referring to Mexico.
Right.
So everywhere I went, it was like, dang. Like, everyone is saying the opposite place that where I currently am is my home.
Right.
And then, like, when I moved to the States, it was like a lot of people looked like me, but they didn't think like me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I lived in Mexico, there was more people who thought like me, but they didn't look like me. So I always looked like I didn't belong. And then when I came here, I looked like I belonged, but I felt like I so far out, like I did not belong.
You were in this weird space that if you try to explain to anybody, they won't even have a clue of what you're talking about, man. And because people who are stuck in like a middle space that they're not exactly in any group, it's like mixed people, you know? Like mixed people, they don't know if they're going to hang out with their black cousins or their white cousins. It's like they're in that space. That's just an example, but they know how to, like, when they're going in this side, they're still like not fully accepting them, and then when they go there, they're like, still not fully accepting them.
Yeah.
I want you to tell you a dark secret about America. This is a land where seclusion is happening a lot. You know, for example, you go to the cafeteria in college, you see the softball people sitting there, the basketball people sitting there, the soccer people sitting there. Even in those teams, there's the cool guys right here. These guys, the weirdos, you know. And so when you come here, there's divisions. So when you're going through stuff like what we are saying, is you're coming here, you'll never be fully accepted, even if you live here for 50 years.
Right.
Never be fully accepted. Me, it's the same. If I go back home, yes, I'm from Kenya, but people will see me as that guy who was born there, but I moved away. So they will still see me as a visitor at some point, to some extent.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm related, but they won't treat me exactly the same.
I
so
see.
It's the same situation.
Yeah.
And you're just in like a weird space where home people haven't fully accepted you, away people haven't fully accepted you. So that's life right there.
Yeah.
And so when you see us coming out here making this art, making these videos, making this music, it's coming from that space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what God doesn't want us to know. He's going to put us through, because we need that to make art.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I was just listening to one of my songs the other day, and it goes like, I'm the most genuine version of me whenever the mic is on. Since I was young, I've always had to fight for my place. And where I'm from, there's no one else as far in the race. We both run, but none of y'all can run at my pace. So don't stab me in the back and then ask if I'm okay.
Come on.
So, but like, basically what I'm saying is like, when I'm on the stage, like, the reason my performances are good is because I'm not performing.
Right.
But on the stage, it's like, oh, dang, this is finally, I get to be all the sides of me in one,
right,
and do whatever I want to do up here. And so, like, when I'm on stage and I'm rapping, I'm performing, and people are like, that looks like a different side of you.
Right.
No, that's just me. Like, this is me.
Like, just doing that in the shower.
Yeah.
The same thing you'll do it on stage.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I notice artists perform concerts because it's an escape for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they want their music to make you feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But man, that's crazy.
Yes.
Wow. So your show, tell people they're watching right now, invite them and tell them why they can't miss this.
All right. My senior show is April 25th, 7 p.m. in the Black Room.
Yeah. And people can watch online for the people who are not in Illinois.
It will be live streamed on Greenville University's YouTube page.
Right.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of songs. I'm going to tell my story. There's going to be a lot of energy.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring back a lot of people who graduated from Greenville who were my era of Greenville, because I feel like I'm a senior that, like, almost everyone here is like, wasn't here when I first came.
Bro, they don't know.
They don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of energy. At times in the show, I'm gonna tell my story very clearly through my pen.
Mm-hmm.
At times in the show, I'm gonna have some video footage. I'm gonna have a lot of emotion into the show too. There's gonna be parts about the low points of my life and my time at Greenville too, like my sophomore year, touching on like how low of a time in my life that was.
Yeah.
And the things I went through that year, things I went through growing up. I'm going to touch on a lot of it and tell my story.
Mm-hmm.
And then a story that starts as the underdog, but like, God had other plans. I'm literally getting married straight out of college.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go do this internship at a church, and like, God's making a way like when there wasn't one.
Right.
So that's what this show is going to show.
Yeah. Man. Talk about your faith a little bit, as we're coming towards the conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
How has God, we've already mentioned a lot of how it's taking us through the journey, and, the path is just not A to B.
Mm-hmm.
It's like moving around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your faith and how people have helped you,
Yeah. I think for me, in my life, I've seen God speak through nature, and I've seen God speak through people as the two clearest ways that I've heard his voice.
Right.
And so God has like put people in my life that would like, through different periods where like I did not want to hear from, I'm like, I don't want to hear from God right now.
Yeah.
But they would just pray for me.
Yeah.
And God softened my heart to hear from him. And what God has shown me is like, he is so much, he's not like this being that's trapped in this religious church. Like, God is here. Like, God created this water right here that I'm looking at. God created these trees, these birds that are flying around. Like, God created all of that. And God is so much bigger than what we could ever think.
Yeah.
That's what that would be like a little, just to touch on a little bit. That's what I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's better description than I will ever put it,
I don't know. You got some good ones too.
Yeah, but man. So just to finish up, man, this was so good, man. We gotta do another episode for sure.
For sure.
I don't think they will be content with just one episode.
Yes.
So, what are some last words you can put in for people? Just last words just to finish up in general.
again, going back to this, like, never give up.
Right.
That your life has value, that there's a reason to keep going, and there's joy after the darkness. There is a sunshine after the storm.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to come. It might not come right away or when you're wanting it to come, but it will, and it'll make you a stronger and better person and push you to where you need to go in your life.
Right.
And give you direction. So keep pushing. Don't give up. People love you. That's what I would say.
Man, I would just say the same thing, man. Just, that's really the only thing you can do. Keep going. If you fall down, just stand up and keep going. If something happened bad, just keep going. There's literally nothing else you can do. There's always just two options. You can just keep going or just give up, and you don't want that. Just keep going.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Today was a pretty amazing episode. You know, there's a pretty nice lake behind us. We will give you a nice view of it at the end. But guys, you know, always take that opportunity to go outside and just breathe. You know, thank you so much. This is your host, Emmanuel Hamala, and we will see you next time, man.
This could never be scripted. Since I was young, I've always had to fight for my place. And where I'm from, there's no one else as far in the race. We both run, but none of y'all can run at my pace. Don't stab me in the back and then ask if I'm okay. Okay then.